Yo, what if I told y'all that complacency is ruining your life? What if I told you that complacency becomes habitual and it becomes the hardest habit to break? Complacency, it's a habit. So my question is what makes you feel complacent in life? What is it? Is it a feeling? Is it an emotion? Is it something that's surrounding you? What is it? What makes you feel complacent? If you've not hit that follow button, make sure you do so. When you hit the follow button on the podcast, you will never miss a moment to rewire the way you think. Welcome to another episode of Fast Forward Mindset Podcast. Today, I will help you rewire the way you think so you can fast forward to the happy and healthy life you want. What makes you feel complacent? Let me tell you what makes me feel complacent. When I sit in the same spot too long. Just the other day, I was watching TV and it was last Saturday, if I remember the day correctly. And I was sitting there watching a series on Netflix or Hulu, one of those platforms. And I was sitting there, and after about the third or fourth episode, I'm about 4 hours in, I started to feel like complacent, like everything that I have to do, I don't have to get done today. I can continue to watch this series. But after a while, it just kept nagging on my heart, like, you got to get up. Bro, you got to move. You can't sit here all day long, bro. You got to get up, move your feet. And so I ended up indulging another episode. And I started to feel even more complacent, like, started to question myself. Like, even if you do get up, what good is it going to do you? Even if you do get up, you still can't get done what you need to get done today. So just continue to watch the show and don't do anything. And y'all, if you know anything about me, I'm a real serious multitasker. And it's a bad habit to have. It's a good habit, but then sometimes it has its cons. It's just not the greatest habit. Well, me being a multitasker, usually when I'm watching a movie or a series, like I gotta be doing something else, maybe like coloring. Yes, y'all, I said coloring. Coach James coloring. Don't knock coloring. Coloring is one of the best strategies that I use to help decompress. It is just great. Believe me, if you try it, I'm just going to say that. Try it. Go to the dollar store, get you a couple coloring books, get you some crayons, and color your little heart away. But anyways, y'all, so I'm a multitasker. So usually when I'm watching something or I'm doing something, I got to be doing at least two or three things at a time. Maybe like on my phone, editing a podcast, on my phone, editing a motivational video that I want to cut for y'all and drop it tomorrow, later today. Right. So that's the type of multitasker that I am. And if I don't multitask while I'm watching the show, then that's where my complacency sit in, because then I start to feel worthless. And when I feel worthless, then I get that complacency syndrome. And so then all of my life just feels like it's in shambles. Like, where am I going in life? What am I doing with my life? I'm stuck watching a show for 4 hours. Where's my life going like this? And it's I got these ambitions and dreams and goals, y'all, to get to the next level in life. And I don't know what your next level looks like, but my next level is starting a bigger business so that I can start generational wealth or have something that I can hand down to my kids, for the future so they can build with their kids, and then so on and so on. So because of that goal, I feel like I can't just sit here. I got to keep moving. I got to keep multitasking, because one day off is one less day of me being able to pass on generational wealth or generational business or whatever you want to call it. Right. And so my complacency makes me feel less than like I'm not being worthy of those around me, and I'm not going to be able to achieve the things I want to achieve for them. And so my complacency usually does a number on me. I'll tell you, it has its ups and downs. The biggest struggle I have with complacency is when I go on vacation with the family, or we go out just to get away for a little bit. We go do something. Like my mind doesn't ever want to stop working. Right. And the minute that it does stops working, and I realize like, oh, I'm enjoying the time with my family, then guilt starts to kick in. And I should have shared that with y'all earlier, is that my complacency makes me feel guilty sometimes, right? It makes me feel like that I'm not doing enough in this world. I could be doing more in that moment. So I can't just sit there and enjoy the vacation. I got to do something else, because if not, I'll feel complacent. And my complacent, I feel guilty. Like you're spending too much time vacationing. You're spending too much time relaxing. And no, no, you can't do that. I mean, that's just how my mind works sometimes. I like to go to Goodwill and buy books. And the reason, one reason why I go to Goodwill is not that the books are cheap, but they got books that you would never expect to see, like the titles. You're like, where the hell did this come from? Right. But I go to Goodwill every occasion, at least once a month, and I buy probably a handful of books, 5, 6 books. I spend about 10, $12. It's really good. And so anyways, though, they had this book that I had picked up. And his book said, enjoy your vacation when you on vacation. And I was like, that sounds interesting. Let me look at the back of that book. And the book starts to the back of it starts to talk about how some of us, when we on vacation, we really start to feel bad about it, and we can't enjoy the moment because the moment's telling us you shouldn't be enjoying the moment on vacation because you still got work to do, right? You still not want to where you want to be in life. And the book just pretty much talks you through like that's not the attitude or the mindset you should have when you're on vacation. You should enjoy vacation when you in the moment when you're vacationing, right? But a lot of us, if you like me, a multitasker, it's kind of hard to enjoy vacation because your mind has your body's here, but your mind is here. And so that book was really, 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 really good. The title was good, anyways. I ended up grabbing the book. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet. But I struggle with complacency here and there, but I'm always super busy, so I don't get that feeling too much. Just because, like I said, I'm not one to just sit in the same spot for too long. I got to keep moving. But what makes you feel complacent? What is it? Yours may not be like mine, right? I remember back in the day, what made me feel complacent was when I was single, when I didn't have or was not in any relationship. Like it made me feel like complacent, like where I'm at, where am I at in life? This isn't right. I shouldn't be by myself. I should be in a relationship. I should be with somebody, because it made me feel complacent because I wasn't in a relationship. And then, I've been known to uh, get get in a relationship. When that one goes or that one expires, get in another relationship and then get in another relationship. I was never that guy that really gave myself the let the jets cool off. Period. Right? Let the jets cool off. They're too hot. It's just blazing. Chill out, James. And so I would jump to relationship until I really realized that was really messing me up, because I didn't want to feel complacent, which is why I would get in these relationships. But also, I was taking old baggage to new destinations, right? Everything I struggled with in this relationship, I was bringing to the new relationship. It was like it was like a carpet runner. It just kept running on and on and on. And when that carpet runner runs out, what do? You put another on top of it. So then there's no carpet space. It's all carpet runner all the way through. But you might have 4 or 5 different carpet runners cut in 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, but it just all run stagnant. And that's kind of how it was for me at one point in my life, is that it just kept running and running and running until I told myself, all right, you got to slow down, bro. You need to give yourself a break, learn who you are, so on. And so I did that. But it had me feeling complacent for a while because it made me feel like I had to be with somebody. And because it made me feel like I had to be with somebody, I would just jump with someone without even thinking about it. Like, hey, I'm in another relationship. Mom and dad like, bro, you didn't, you, I don't think that was even over a good 2 weeks. Hey, I'm in another relationship. Meet Maggie. Meet Maggie. Maggie, meet my mom and dad. My dad's like, Maggie. I met Maggie this weekend, and who was it last week? I don't forgot her name already. Right? That was kind of how it was when, with relationships or whatever. But I just didn't like the way that it made me. I didn't want to feel complacent. It made me feel complacent. So what makes you feel complacent? What is it? I mean, you know what minds are. I would challenge you to really think about what makes you feel complacent in this world and really think on that, ruminate on it, right? And if it's something unhealthy, fix it, right? If it's healthy, then I mean, like I said, with my complacency, time when I'm not multitasking, I feel complacent. Doesn't mean it's a good or bad thing, but it's not a dire strait I need to fix. Like, you got to fix this, bro. You can't multitask ever, right? Some things are meant to have multitasking done. Maybe my choice of when I multitask is not always the greatest, but I'm a multitasker, right? But what makes you feel complacent? I want you to really think on that, ruminate on that, and really figure out where does that have you in life, right? Are you achieving or are you not achieving? Are you motivated? Or are you demotivated? Are you disciplined or are you not disciplined? Because I think if we understand this part about what makes you feel complacent, it may help you, find a different piece about yourself you didn't know about. As I get older, I start to really find these little pieces about myself, about who I am, what I am, and where am I headed in the future, right? And along the way, I start to find out like all these little things about me that I'm not always happy about because they're not always the greatest things, but it's me, right? And so I accepted who I am. So I'm not gonna beat myself up, but one thing is I could be very moody, right? Number two is I could be grouchy at times when I don't see things or feel like the conversation has benefited me. I don't. Some people be talking to me and I'm like, man, you telling me the same conversation. It's not really benefiting me. And because it's not benefiting me, I kind of get angry like, all right, bro, get to the point. I mean, I started learning these things about myself. And so I start to catch myself like, change your facial expressions. Do this, do that. When someone is telling you this, keep a straight look at them in the eye. Don't put your head down. Don't get on your cell phone. Don't multitask. Just pay attention. In corporate America, one thing that I got really good at about, and I know I digress a little bit, but this is a good digression right here though. But in corporate America, but being a manager, people come up to me all the time saying, "Hey, I got a question for you." And I was to a point in my life where I had to multitask. So I'm like, "Go ahead." I have not made eye contact with them at all, mind you. I'm not. I just look at them real quick. Okay, go ahead, and then I turn my head back down and keep typing. And they're like, "Are you listening?" Yes, I'm listening. What is the question? Right? Just keep typing. I'm doing two or three things at one time, right? I can hear them talking and I'm typing up an email, right? Well, one thing that I had to get better on was that. One of my employees gave me feedback, and I was like, because I always ask my employees like every month we have a one-on-one. I ask them, I give them feedback about themselves, what's good and what are opportunities. And so back in return, I say, hey, what are things I do well as your manager, and what are things that I can work on? Well, one of my employees was like, hey, you can work on when I come to your desk and ask you a question, turn around and make eye contact with me. And it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, "Huh, I didn't realize I do that." And so I said, carry on. And she was like, yeah, well, sometime when I have a question, I come to your desk. You're doing two or three things at one time. And she go, I get it. I know you're a busy guy and, makes sense why you do that. She go, but sometimes I just feel like I want you to hear me out. And I had to stop and think before I responded because I was going to respond back and be like, well, I do hear you. But that wouldn't be fair to her because I asked her for her true feedback. And if she gives me true feedback about myself, I can't squash it. I can't just step on it and say it doesn't matter because it matters. And so I said, okay, well, so you saying when you come to my desk and you ask me a question, you would like to have my full attention? And she says, yes. And so I realized after she said that how many times I had been doing that to all of my employees. And so I asked them the next one-on-one I had, I said, hey, do you notice when you come to my desk? Yep. Everybody said, yes, you do. But it's okay because we know you're busy, but we would like your attention. And so one of my opportunities was that. And so what I started doing was when they come to my desk, they ask me a question, I will literally control alt delete my computer, shut it down. I will turn my seat around and look at them eye contact and go, yes. And they would ask me the question, and I will give my response. I will make sure that they fully are aware. And how I knew they were fully aware or didn't have any more questions is I would check their eyes. If they look confused, I elaborate a little bit more. If their eyes didn't look confused, they go on about their way, get the answer, and then move on to the next whatever they got going on. Right. So that was a little bit about, I know, like I said, I digress a little bit on that, but today we're talking about what makes you feel complacent, right? And that didn't have to do with that, but I wanted to give y'all a little bit of feedback saying that I'm learning myself every single day, and I was going somewhere with that, and that has to do with me feeling complacent, right? Is really what it all comes down to. We do all these things for unknown reasons, and then as time progresses, we get a little bit older, we start to really navigate ourselves and realize why we do these things that we do. So what makes you feel complacent and why? And how does it impact you? Those are three questions I want you to take away. I want you to ruminate on that. And I would like for you to email me with your response at jewatki1@gmail.com. I'm interested to hear the responses. I will also put on the episode, drop a question. And that question will probably be more than likely, do you feel complacent? And it'll just be a yes or no. You can respond to leave a comment, or you can email me personally and I will respond back to you. I'm not going to read your response that you gave me. I'm not going to share your name. I just like to know what makes some of you feel complacent, right? So, but what makes you feel complacent? Send me an email and let me know, y'all. Thank y'all for listening to today's episode. I really appreciate it, especially those listeners that continue to come back day after day, listen to my podcast. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to the follow button, because when you do, you will never miss a moment to rewire the way you think. Don't forget to check out my website. It's www.rewirethewayouthink.com. Yeah, I'm not hard to find. I'm on IG all day, every day. It's Fast Forward Mindset Podcast. If you're struggling today with thoughts of suicide, thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else, please don't hesitate to call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 988. If y'all want to donate to the cause, you're more than welcome to do so. You can send me some money at Cash App. That's $JEWATKI1. Also, put that information in the episode description as well if you're interested in supporting the cause. Hey, y'all, I'm Coach James, and I hope this message helps you rewire the way you think. And as I always say, if your mindset isn't making you money, it's costing you way too much. And that's my 2 cents on that, y'all. Peace. Thank y'all for listening to today's episode. And remember, don't rewind your life, fast forward it. Until next time, keep moving forward. Hey, y'all, I'm Coach James. Let me help rewire the way you think. All right, y'all. Peace.